If you live up north and think garlic's a southern crop, think again. Gardeners in Zone 3, Zone 4, and Zone 5 can grow absolute mountains of garlic if they plant it right now. But most people get one key thing wrong, and it's not the soil, it's the depth. Garlic actually loves cold winters. It needs that long chill period to form big, flavorful bulbs. The trick in Zones 3, 4, and 5 is to protect it from freeze-thaw cycles without smothering it. Let's walk through exactly how to plant garlic the northern way, so you pull up fat heads instead of puny little marbles next summer. For these colder zones, the phrase to remember is hardneck garlic. Hardnecks evolved to handle deep freezes. They form a stiff central stem that helps the plant channel energy straight into big, flavorful cloves. They also produce the curly flower stalks called scapes in early summer, a bonus harvest you can sauté, pickle, or blend into pesto before the bulbs are even ready. Soft necks, the type you see braided in kitchen displays, prefer mild winters like those in Zone 8 or Zone 9. Up north, they often struggle to split into full bulbs. Among hardnecks, three standouts dominate northern gardens. German extra hardy, sometimes labeled German white, is famous for consistency. Even after harsh winters in Zone 3, its cloves emerge strong, and the bulbs store well into spring. Music garlic produces fewer but massive cloves with a clean, rich flavor that chefs love. It's ideal for Zone 4 gardeners who want high yields with minimal fuss. Chestnut red offers vivid purple skins and a milder taste, perfect for roasting whole heads in winter meals. You can mix all three in one bed to test which performs best in your microclimate. When preparing seed garlic, break the bulb into individual cloves just before planting, usually a day or two ahead. Don't peel them. That thin, papery wrapper is a built-in barrier against soil pathogens and moisture loss during dormancy. Select only the largest, healthiest cloves for planting. Smaller ones can be eaten now or used as kitchen garlic. Each big clove becomes its own full bulb next summer. So planting quality pays off. If you're buying seed stock, avoid grocery store bulbs entirely. They're often sprayed to prevent sprouting and may carry diseases. Instead, order from regional growers who specialize in cold-hardy strains. Their garlic has already proven it can handle the deep freezes of Zone 3, Zone 4, and Zone 5. Getting the timing right is what separates a disappointing garlic harvest from a crate full of heavy, market-grade bulbs. Gardeners in Zone 3, Zone 4, and Zone 5 all have to race the freeze, but not too soon and not too late. The goal is to plant early enough for each clove to sprout roots before the ground locks up, yet late enough that tender green shoots don't grow tall and get burned off by the first hard frost. In Zone 3, the sweet spot usually lands between late September and early October. The days are cooling fast, and the soil still has enough warmth to trigger root growth without pushing much top growth. Zone 4 gardeners can stretch that window to mid-October, while Zone 5 can often plant right into late October or early November if the weather cooperates. When in doubt, wait until daytime highs hover around 50 degrees Fahrenheit and nighttime temperatures dip into the 30s. That's your signal. Now, let's talk soil. Garlic thrives in beds that drain freely yet hold steady moisture. Standing water or sticky clay will rot the cloves before they ever get started. If your soil tends to compact, take the time to loosen it a full 8 inches deep. A digging fork or broad fork is ideal. Break up clods and mix in a generous helping of compost or well-rotted manure. Compost feeds the bulbs slowly all winter long and helps balance moisture levels when spring thaws arrive. You don't need a high nitrogen fertilizer yet. Save that boost for next spring's top dressing. Avoid freshly turned sod or any area that's grown onions, leeks, or other alliums in the past couple of years. Rotating crops reduces the risk of white rot and other fungal diseases that can linger in the soil. A bright, sunny location is essential. Garlic needs at least 6 hours of direct sunlight daily once growth resumes. When you've prepared your bed, rake it level and mark out neat rows spaced about a foot apart. Each row should be loose, crumbly, and ready to accept cloves without forcing them. The idea is to create an inviting environment where roots can spread deep before the first snowpack sets in. With your soil tuned up and your timing dialed in, you've built the perfect launch pad for garlic success in Zone 3, Zone 4, and Zone 5. Planting depth and spacing. This is the part that makes or breaks your garlic crop. You can pick the perfect variety and prep your soil beautifully, but if you plant too shallow, you'll be pulling up runts next summer. In Zone 3, Zone 4, and Zone 5, winters are harsh enough to heave lightly planted cloves straight out of the ground. That's why the key to northern success is simple: plant deep. Start by lining up your rows about a foot apart and have your biggest, healthiest cloves ready. Push each one into the soil with the pointy end facing up and the flat root side down. Don't twist them in or lay them sideways. Garlic isn't forgiving about orientation. Now measure carefully. Each clove should sit 3 to 4 inches deep. That's deeper than what you see in most garden center pamphlets, which usually suggest an inch. At 4 inches deep, they stay insulated, stable, and hydrated all winter long. Once depth is handled, think about spacing. Garlic hates crowding. Give each clove at least 6 inches of breathing room side to side, and about 12 inches between rows. This spacing allows every bulb to expand fully underground without bumping into its neighbor. It also makes weeding, watering, and harvesting easier later on. If your soil is loose and crumbly, you can simply cover the cloves by hand and firm the surface gently. Don't stomp it down or compact it. Roots need oxygen just as much as they need moisture. In heavier soils, consider sprinkling a thin layer of compost right over the planting trench before backfilling. It'll buffer temperature swings and improve drainage without forming a crust. Label each variety as you go if you're testing different hardnecks. It's easy to forget which patch holds the music and which holds the chestnut red once the snow covers everything. When you finish planting, your bed should look neat and undisturbed, with the soil smoothed level across the top. Beneath that quiet surface, each clove is already starting to root in, preparing for the long freeze ahead. You've just set the stage for big, heavy bulbs come summer in Zone 3, Zone 4, and Zone 5. Once those cloves are tucked safely 3 to 4 inches deep, the long northern winter becomes your ally, not your enemy. Gardeners in Zone 3, Zone 4, and Zone 5 all face months of snow and ice. But garlic is perfectly built for that. As soil temperatures fall, the cloves slow their metabolism and enter dormancy, conserving energy while steady moisture from melting snow seeps around them. That consistent cold period, what scientists call vernalization, is the secret ingredient that triggers large bulb formation later on. Without it, the cloves would stay small and underdeveloped. Throughout winter, you don't have to do much. The goal is stability. Don't disturb the bed, and don't worry if you see nothing happening on the surface. Underneath, the roots are quietly anchoring themselves deep into the soil. In Zone 3, they'll stay frozen solid for longer stretches. Zone 4 might experience a few midwinter thaws. Zone 5 usually sees alternating freeze-thaw cycles that can cause minor heaving. But because you planted deeper, those bulbs will stay put. As soon as the ground softens in early spring, you'll notice thin green shoots pushing through. That's your cue to help the garlic wake up strong. Rake away any debris that blew in over winter so sunlight can warm the soil faster. If the bed seems dry, give a deep watering to resaturate the root zone. When the plants reach 6 inches tall, you can side dress with a slow-release fertilizer or compost to feed them during rapid growth. By late May or June, hardneck garlic begins forming curly flower stalks called scapes. Clip these off once they curl once or twice. The plant will redirect its energy from the scape into building a larger bulb. Don't toss them. Scapes have a mild garlic flavor perfect for stir-fries, soups, or pesto. Harvest timing depends on your zone's summer length. In Zone 5, most gardeners pull their garlic around mid-July. Zone 4 tends to follow by late July, and Zone 3 usually hits its stride in early August. Watch for the lower leaves turning brown while the top 5 or 6 stay green. That's the signal the bulbs are fully formed but not yet splitting. Loosen the soil carefully, lift each bulb, and brush off the dirt without washing. Hang them in a shaded, airy spot to cure for about 3 weeks. When you're done, you'll have firm, flavorful bulbs that can last well into next spring. Proof that even in Zone 3, Zone 4, and Zone 5, winter is the best fertilizer garlic ever gets. And that's how you grow loads of garlic in Zone 3, Zone 4, and Zone 5. By planting deep, timing it right, and trusting the winter to do what it does best. Once you've dug up those fat, papery bulbs next summer, you'll see exactly why this crop has been a northern staple for centuries. Save your biggest, healthiest heads for replanting, and your garlic will only get stronger year after year. It'll adapt to your soil, your weather, and your way of doing things, until it's practically your own homegrown variety. That's the kind of self-reliance every gardener should aim for. If you found this helpful, go ahead and subscribe so you don't miss the next Ground Truth gardening video. Each one's made to help you grow smarter, not trendier, and to keep your garden producing no matter what zone you're in. Thanks for watching, and until next time, keep growing with purpose and keep finding the ground truth in your garden.